Hi, I'm Robin from Play Move Improve.
And I'm Lauren from Play Move Improve.
Today we want to talk about group times. Our amazing Lauren is a kindergarten teacher, over 20 years, amazing experience. And we've noticed the regressional shift that we're seeing in kids' motor skills, less concentration and attention span, less engagement with others in the early childhood setting. So we really want to talk about group times today.
Yes, I've noticed that large group times have become more and more challenging in recent years. The children are less engaged, they're finding it harder to pay attention, listen to each other, or just stop moving. So the increased use of screen times has meant children are needing much more stimulus to pay attention. So we pair that with poor core strength and poor self-regulation. It's really challenging to have a group time for 20 to 30 children and be really engaging in a large group. So a few years ago, I had a beautiful kinder class, but they just could not get through group time. I was sort of lamenting to a colleague once. I said, I feel like I need to be more exciting than an iPad game to get their attention. And I'm reading stories all excited like this. And I just thought we need to try something different. We need to do mat time differently. So we've trialled smaller groups in rotations, moving between educators as sort of little spots around the service. And it was really, really effective.
So we paired up to create our new amazing program called Core Connections. It's a rotational group time program. And we're going to share some of it with you today, which is really exciting. We're going to demonstrate some of the activities. We're going to break it down and troubleshoot some of the activities. We're going to explain how working in these smaller groups can really help children with their skills of self-regulation, their interpersonal social skills, and of course, my love, their motor skills.
So the purpose of Core Connections is to encourage engagement. We want all children to participate and develop. I once had a very wise co-teacher who had the saying, never confuse compliance for engagement, when you saw children sitting here very still, looking like they were listening in. And I think about that a lot. I think we want group times to have goals and outcomes, not just be this opportunity for children to sort of sit still and learn to be quiet. So if your goal is to have a large group of children to sort of just sit there and be quiet, you might actually just be teaching them how to mask holding it together, how to disengage without being noticed or daydream in a group. So let's use group time as a routine that's an opportunity for practicing foundational skills.
Love it. So the Core Connections program, which Lauren's been amazing help with, it's designed for the year before school. We break children into 2 to 3 groups, depending on the group size at your service. And then we also rotate them with 3 beautiful names that Lauren's come up with. It's the yarning circle, the movement group, and the relaxation mat. We'll run you through all of that today, so don't worry. Our goal really is to break these groups down into at least 8 to 10 children, but really capping it at the 10 children mark so we can support their development. Each group goes for about 12 to 15 minutes with a total of 45 minutes. Now you're hearing 45 minutes. We're not expecting the children to sit still for 45 minutes. I can't sit still for 45 minutes. But this time is really about how we can model that rotational program. The children are moving, they're engaged, they're interacting. And the most important part is we've really targeted each activity to be for their brain and motor development. All areas of self-regulation, social skill development. So today, we're going to show you some ideas and some samples of the yarning circle, the movement group, and the relaxation mat. So yeah, we're ready?
Yep, I'm going to show you some things in the yarning circle. So the purpose of the yarning circle group in Core Connections is to create community and engagement. And the children should feel like this is a really special place to be. The educator should be providing lots of warmth, lots of smiles, encouragement. You should hear laughing going on. You can pose questions, find things out about each other, be silly, use our imaginations and listen to other people. So one of the easiest ways to do that is to incorporate small group games. So if you think about a group game with children, you probably think something like Duck, Duck, Goose. And if you've ever tried to play Duck, Duck, Goose with 30 children, it does not go very well. And I can imagine you wouldn't want to play with 29 of your peers. It takes really long. It's going to take half an hour to play to get one turn. So with everyone waiting to take a turn, children can get really restless and disengaged. And so playing games with 8 to 10 children is a completely different experience. The children still have to learn those skills awaiting their turn, and dealing with disappointment about not being chosen, all those sorts of things, but it's more manageable and it's an appropriate time frame. So they know they'll have to wait and it's uncomfortable, but it's not waiting for 25 minutes for your turn. So waiting and taking turns becomes a sort of pleasant experience. And knowing that the game won't go forever makes it far more engaging. So I'm going to show you a game that some preschool children I've worked with have loved. You might be familiar with it or not. It's called the Shoe Shop game, and I'll just demonstrate it with Robin. And just imagine we have 10 children on the mat here doing this at the moment.
Love it. I'm excited. Shoes are off. We're ready to go.
Oh, we need one shoe each.
Oh, one shoe. We need one shoe. Good to go.
All right.
Love it.
Grab our shoes.
Shoes. We put them on.
Or you put one. You have one shoe on and one shoe off.
One shoe on. Love it.
Okay, and put these in here. Oh, and I'll grab my mat. So imagine there's more than 2 shoes, because this would be a rather boring game to people. So every child takes their shoe off. You have one on and one off, and the aim is to match them in the group. Now I'm going to put them under a cover to make it more exciting for Robert and I. You might, if you have a 3-year-old group, or a younger group, you might want to leave it out so they can choose. But this stops them just picking their best friend's shoe or their own shoe.
The pink one.
Yeah, that's right. Put them underneath. And we all sit in our circle and we tap on our knees and sing, Robin's in the shoe shop, the shoe shop, the shoe shop. Robin's in the shoe shop, I wonder which shoe she'll choose. Robin, which shoe will you choose? Put your hand underneath. Grab a shoe. And you've got to match it. So look around. Who's got the brown shoe? Oh, it's mine. All right. I put my shoe on. With younger children, you might say they can wait with their shoe in their lap. They've got shoelaces and that sort of thing. And then it becomes my turn and we sing, Lauren's in the shoe shop, the shoe shop, the shoe shop. Lauren's in the shoe shop, I wonder which shoe she'll choose. And then I go underneath and I've got the last one in here. And I go, oh, that belongs on Robin's foot. Yay. So it's Robin's turn, and that would be the end. With more children, it's more exciting than playing with 2 of you. And then on the last one, when Robin's having a turn and there's none, we say, Robin's in the shoe shop, the shoe shop, the shoe shop. Robin's in the shoe shop, but we ran out of shoes. Oh, no. It's a little bit of the disappointment at the end if you run out of shoes, but it's a fun experience and the children really enjoy that matching game with a lot of movement and interaction.
Amazing. I love it. Fantastic.
The next game that I'm going to demonstrate, this is part of the Core Connections 2. Each day there's usually some kind of little game or fun thing to take part in. You might have played this game as a child yourself, where you put out some items. So we can see here I've got some big sunglasses and a fuzzy bee and a pencil and an elephant. So I say, all right, friends, we all need to have a good look here and see what's there, because I'm going to take something away and you've got to work out which one it is. And you're going to tell me, you're going to keep it in your head and you're going to tell me by putting your hand up to show me that you know, because if everybody calls out, if we all call out, that's not a fun game, is it? Not everyone will get a turn. So have a good look, Robin.
All right, 4 things.
4 things.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Bee, pencil, glasses, and elephant. Are we ready? Close your eyes. And I usually like to put my hand underneath and take it. So if anyone is peeking, that'll be me. And everybody look, put your hand up if you know what you think might be missing. Robin, what do you think's missing?
Glasses.
Let's have a look. She was right. And so you might want to play this game with more items if you have an older group or it's towards the end of the year. Sometimes I've had 10 to 12 items in there. You might want to take away 2 items at a time and put them back. I've done 3 items and 4, and you can see they're really trying to engage that part of their brain where they're trying to hold information. I've got these 12 items, which ones are missing? Or while they're waiting for their turn to have a guess, they're going elephant, rainbow, sort of thing. So all of that executive functioning skills are going on in there as well. All right. And then there's the big kid version of that is where we hide the children underneath the blanket. So we'll have a song and a dance and a groove around, or you can walk around in a circle and then you say, all right, everybody crash down low. And so Robin, you hide down like this. Every child covers like this. Nobody peeking. And then you choose a child to put the cover over like this. And then we say, all right, everybody up and everybody look. And they need to look around and remember who was in the group and who's missing. So I'll say, who is missing? And they'll say, Sarah's missing. I say, no, I can see Sarah over there. Jackson's missing. No, I can see Jackson there. Who is it? Who's underneath? You might need to give a clue, like they were wearing a top with dinosaurs on it, or they're a friend who's really, really good at digging in the sandpit or something like that to help them. And then when they can call out and they look around, and then we say, yes, it was Robin. And then we play that again till everyone gets a turn. And the children really love that. And it's a really nice sense of community because they're looking around and paying attention. Who are my friends? Who's here? Who's not? Who do I remember seeing? So we're doing lots of working memory, and we're doing lots of engagement and noticing things about other people as well.
I love it. Amazing.
So those are just some games that we like to do in the yarning circle. There's also a time to do your acknowledgement of country, some welcoming songs that are really nice, like hi everyone, it's nice to see you, or oh, the more we are together, together, together. There's lots of samples in the manual, or you can use what you're already using at Kinder, look some things up. There's also discussion times. We can talk about things like what's your favourite thing to do at Kinder, or when you're on country, what things can you see? You could do a group drawing together, and also lots of physical interaction games. So each day in the yarning circle, there's a few components and they're different every time, and you can play with whatever you like to do that. But it's always nice to do a physical interaction to teach the children about touch with safe people and safe touch with consent as well. So things like pass around a high five, and then Robin will pass that on and it goes around, and let's see if we can do that faster. Round they go. And then we'll do ones like if we have hands like this, pass it on, you've got to use the other hand. One so we can cross our body and pass it on, cross and pass on. We're doing those midline crosses as well. We can do pass on one. Ooh, we'll pass on a two. Something my Kinder friends have always loved is pass on a foot high five. Oh, that is very difficult. And then the children often come up with their own ideas too. I've had ones say, can we turn our backs around to each other and pass it on, or pass it on with our feet behind us? And sometimes we'll get our timer and see how fast we can make it go, and that's a usual part each day. So I've shown you a bit of a sample of what the vibe of the yarning circle is. It's all about engagement with each other and educator-child engagement, and just a really warm place for children to be, where they feel really special and that they've had lots of positive social interactions with others. And Robin's now going to demonstrate some parts of the movement group.
Yes, exciting. Bit of a change of view. So we are doing a lot of tummy time activities in the movement program for the Core Connections program. Main thing to look at is my feet. My feet are flat on the floor. What we're seeing a lot, and why we've modified the movement intervention program that a lot of you are used to into this new Core Connections program, is we're seeing a lot of children with their feet still up like this. That's showing us they haven't had enough tummy time in their infancy. We really need to work where the children are currently at. If I keep offering activities that are above their foundational level, we're going to see errors in their movement. We're going to see poor technique forming. So we've really applied really basic functions in the movement part of the Core Connections program, trying to make them as fun as we can. This is really simple puzzles, but you can use whatever puzzles the children are enjoying at the moment. I just need them to be on the ground, and I need to really try and make sure we're doing that small group session. Each person gets a puzzle or a shape sorter. They get this for about 2 to 3 minutes. So it needs a small puzzle that can be completed in 2 minutes, because by 2 minutes, they're going to lose their endurance and they'll start to lay down. So try to find a really simple shape sorter. We all have the Tupperware version. Try and find a really simple puzzle that they can complete within 2 minutes. And that's one of the components of our movement program. It seems really simple, but if we don't build up their core strengths, the other activities in your manual are going to be hard for them to complete. So we're doing it in quite a progressive way to make sure those foundational skills are developed. Another skill that we notice really finding it quite challenging is called the Morrow reflex. So I'd love if part of the starting of our movement group, you really focus on the reflex section of the manual. The reflex section of the manual is going to teach you one called the Morrow reflex star. You'll see a picture in the manual. It's of my daughter Phoebe. She's got her feet crossed over. She's giving her knees a cuddle. At the start of the group, we welcome everyone into the circle. And we say, we're going to work on our brain and our body working together. When I say the word star, I'm going to say it a little bit loud. And when I say the word star, I want you to open your body like a star. And then we close it up. We're going to do this 5 times. So I go star. We open our body like a star. Children who still have their Moro reflex will be stuck. They might open their arms, they might get stuck, or they might open their legs and their arms are still stuck. It's showing us this Moro reflex is still a challenge for them. Games like Duck, Duck, Goose are going to be tricky. They're going to often put their hands over their ears because it's too loud in the space. They might be really reluctant to move because when we move our body, our Moro reflex gets startled. A really important part of when we provide you with the manual and we coach you through the group, we need to repeat these daily. They're very simple activities, but they need to be done daily. You're probably like, oh, how do I do that daily? It takes 2 minutes for our tummy time activity. It takes about 30 seconds for our Moro reflex activity. If we don't do it daily, I explain it's similar to me just being given 3 juggling balls. Here you go, learn how to juggle. I can't learn how to juggle in a 45-minute period. I need to repeat it over and over and over. It's going to feel quite repetitive for you, but the foundation that you build here will have a beautiful ripple effect into the other activities that we're going to show you soon.
All right, now we are at the relaxation mat, and you can see we've used it as a good opportunity for some more tummy time. You might like to do that. Sometimes you can have the children lying on their backs and getting used to where their bodies are in space in a different way. Relaxation mat can be whatever works for your group. You can have wellbeing, sort of listening to stories and imaginations through Spotify or Apple Music or something like that. There's hundreds of those out there. You could read a really nice book, you're only reading with 8 children. It gives them an opportunity to ask questions. Usually with a group of 20 or 30, it's sort of like, shh, you're listening now because we're going to get through the story. They can say, why did that happen, and things like that. You can have that real engagement with them. And another nice thing to do is sometimes just book looking time. So grab some books that might be familiar. So here we've got The Very Hungry Caterpillar story. They know they don't need an adult to read it to them. Or one with just really beautiful pictures like this. This is not a book that's appropriate for kinder children, obviously. It's too many words, but there's a lot happening in the pictures, and they can sit there and they can talk to each other. What do you think is happening? You can also find popular things at the op shop, things like Ninjago or princess stories and things like that, that they know what happens in Moana. So if they have the Moana book, they're just looking through retelling that story to themselves. They can share their knowledge with a friend. It's just a time to calm down, to kind of bring the group together and to use their body in a different way. So they're going from the yarning circle, lots of interaction and using that part of their brain of communication and social skills, and they're moving their bodies at the movement group, and now it's time to use your bodies in a different way.
Love it. And what I love also why we pick tummy time for some of the relaxation activities is we're actually stimulating our vagus nerve right now. So our vagus nerve sits in the bottom of our sternum all the way down to our digestive organs. So just being in this position is very soothing. Some children might like to sort of snuggle up. So coming into like a cute little ball that's still going to hug their vagus nerve. As Lauren was saying, just trying to find a space where they feel comfortable. I know even myself, if you make me relax, I'll actually resist it. So we want to try and make this a really beautiful space where we are bringing heart rate, blood pressure, arousal down, but it's not a forced relaxation time. They'll get there. It might take a turn for them to practice. We've got lots of different stages of relaxation activities for children at different levels. But this is I'm excited to do this activity. So.
And it can look a little bit different depending on your group. If you have under 22 and you just have the 2 educators in the room, you'll have one doing yarning circle and one doing the movement time, and then you come together for relaxation with 20. If you have 3 educators, you can move around those 3 different groups. So just choose whatever works for the group size that you have at that time. And you'll find out as you move with your group what does and doesn't work. They may not be able to lie through an auditory book. They may like to look at things. They might need to do puzzles at that time. They might like to have soft music on and have scarves waved over the top of them, things like that. It's really nice to experiment, and it's really nice to repeat as well and do predictable things that they've enjoyed last time.
Love it. So I hope you enjoyed those activities that we gave to you. I sort of wanted to wrap up with what Core Connections is. Also, some of you have used my movement intervention program in your services. You've had my beautiful teachers like Lauren come out to your services. I just wanted to highlight why we're changing it. I think it's really important. We're not getting rid of the movement part. The movement part is still a key part of the program. It's just with the movement intervention program, it was logistically tricky. Even from your experience, Lauren, what do you feel?
It could be sometimes trying to do that small group with everybody else doing something different. So we thought moving that into the 3 rotating groups, everybody's part of that experience. It's not like you're trying to work with one group of children and the rest you're kind of shooing away to go and play, we're doing this. They'll all get a turn at everything and they're doing something engaging while they're waiting as well. And I think another really big appealing thing for it is that all the coaching and all the learning is happening in real time in your session. I know whenever I've gone to book the SRF, it can be very overwhelming. You think that looks really great. Oh, I have to spend 2 PD days in the city going to learn about that. Or I need to read a manual that's like 30 pages long to find out what it is. Or I'm going to be taken off the floor to meet with a coach, and it means less time with the children I'm trying to build relationships with. It is happening in your session while all your staff are there. So, 2 or 3 of you are learning the skills to keep this program going, and you're not doing it in any of your own time. It's happening with your group, and you'll have us there to ask questions with as well. So it's kind of like getting the movement part and then also some of the social skills part, putting it all together into a way that works with what you're already doing, and that's trying to build relationships with children and be in those settings with children, promoting all of these skills, but you're doing it as you get, in a session time, as a giant group time each day. It's not an addition to what you're already doing.
Absolutely. And the main benefit we found was the kindergartens that got the full resource kit from me for the MIP program. It's been more sustainable. That's a learning curve for me. So this program, you get the kit, you get the resources, you get the flickable, easy to read manual. It is ready to go. Day 1, we come help you. And that's really, I also need to share, I'm an allied health professional. I recruited these amazing teachers because you know how to run a classroom. I know how to run an allied health space. So it's been really beautiful, all of your feedback, all of your patience as these allied health ladies come in to try and do what she can in a kinder space. And that's why I wanted to gather all your feedback over the last few months. I've recruited the amazing Lauren. Your brain's amazing. And we've created the Core Connections program, which we're really excited for you to be a part of. Just go to the expressions of interest form, sign up, let us know you're interested, and we'll get more information out to you how to modify the school readiness funding plan. We're definitely here to help you out. Awesome. So expression of interest form, and let us know what you think of the activities. Share your feedback. Thanks so much for having us.
See ya.
See ya.